Alright, so this is what each of the weapons would do in TF2 if they had realistic damage. In this video, I'm only going to be covering the stock weapons, but firstly, I'm going to establish some rules. Every single gun can headshot now, and every single headshot's an insta-kill. Alright, let's go. So now we're starting with the scatter gun. This fires 10 pellets, and I'd say it does 150 damage at point blank range, and at medium range, it would probably one-shot a light glass, because in games, shotgun accuracy is way worse than it is in real life, so that would mean the short stop is pretty bad, since in this version of TF2, it would just be a little bit better accuracy for way less damage. Alright, now we're on to the pistol. So, in real life, it doesn't matter what bullet it is, it's probably gonna kill you if you're shot with it, unless it hits you in the leg or arm. So for the pistol, I'd say it does 25 damage per bullet if it doesn't hit a vital organ, and then it will do 50 damage of bleed. So, now we're on to the bat. The way I rate melee weapons is how many swings you could take before you die, assuming like the average guy was hitting you in like the body with it, not the head. So I'd say the bat actually probably does 25 damage, because the bat doesn't seem to be too big or weighty, and also Scout's arms are as thick as a toothpick, and he is not killing anybody with those little hands. So yeah. Alright, we're on to the soldier. So this video is about realistic damage and not realistic weapons. So even though it's so stupid how we can put 4 rockets into a single rocket launcher, it's fine here. So I'd say each rocket probably does 300 damage because it's a rocket. And you can't survive rockets, no matter how much plot armor you have. So yeah, 300 damage per rocket, and I don't know, the shotgun stays pretty much the same. It's the exact same as the scattergun, but it has 1 less pellet, so instead of 150 damage, it's 135 damage. Alright, so for the shovel, so we gotta decide whether soldier is hitting them with the blunt side of the shovel, or hitting them with the sharp side. We'll assume that he's using the blunt side of the shovel, which is pretty thin, and the shovel seems to be even lighter than the bat, so I'd actually say this is like 20 damage, surprisingly. Alright, so for the Pyro's flamethrower, I'm actually going to be reducing the damage, so it would take 10 seconds to kill somebody. However, they would be completely stunned and couldn't attack, and they'd just be on the ground screaming because it hurts so bad, but they just can't die. So yeah, that's what happens with the flamethrower. We've already covered the shotgun, so we don't have to mess with that. So now we're on the fire axe. Yeah, the fire axe, it's probably chop your arm off instantly. It's gonna do 100 damage, and then 100 damage of bleed. But if it cuts off your arm, 400 damage of bleed. So yeah, you're cooked.
Help me!
Alright, now we're on to the defense classes, starting with Demoman. So his grenade launcher now deals 250 damage per grenade, so it'll one-shot everything but a heavy. And its shrapnel will give you 25 bleed damage over the course of about 10 seconds, because its shrapnel doesn't seem to be too bad. So yeah. Then now we have the sticky launcher. This thing also, with 1 bomb, will one-shot everything except the heavy, doing 250 damage, except this time, it does 100 bleed damage because it literally has spikes on it that'll launch out and stab you. So yeah, you'll get bleed if you're even in the general area of this thing. And for his bottle, it does 25 damage per swing until it breaks, and then it does 25 damage, then 50 bleed damage. Alright, so now for the heavy, you are not surviving his minigun, even if it's just for a second. So you know how for the pistol, it does 25 damage per bullet, and this is 9mm bullets? Well, the minigun, using one single ammo or shot, fires 4 bullets, which are probably stronger. So that means in a single hit, at like point blank, it's gonna be 115 damage, not to mention the extra 60 bleed damage that it will also do. So if you're hit with this, womp womp. And for the fists, well, even though Heavy is pretty strong, he's just a little guy. It's just literally just his hands. 15 damage per hit. You could probably take a lot of swings from just a punch. Because a punch to the face and a fire axe to the face are very, very different. So now we're on Engineer, the last defense class. And the only weapon I have to talk about is the wrench. So it actually looks to be pretty heavy and pretty strong. And if you look at the edge of like the wrench, I'll put in that screen, it looks kind of pointed. So if you hit someone on the head, I bet it'll hurt a lot. So I'm gonna say 40 damage per swing, and it's gonna deal no bleed damage because it's mainly blunt. But wait, I forgot to mention one thing, his buildings. So for his sentry, the bullets are gonna do 25 damage each, just the same bullets as the pistol, same bleed, same damage, and it has a really high fire rate, so it's probably just gonna kill you pretty quickly. I don't know the exact firing speed, but I'll put it on screen. And the rockets on the sentry, since it fires 4 at the same time, that's 1,200 damage. So yeah, the sentry is basically just the best thing in the game. And wait, there's one hidden thing I forgot to mention. You know how dispensers heal your teammates and give them ammo? Now there's a hidden stat that'll kill your teammates after they're using it for 1 second because of the witchcraft and radiation being outputted by this funny little box.
Oh, this sucks! Spy! Look.
What the hell?
What the hell?
Alright, now we're on the final part of the video, which is support classes. So we're now on Medic. He has the syringe gun. However, if you've ever taken a shot before, you'll know that needles do not make like any effect, to the point where they don't even hurt sometimes. However, it really depends where this needle lands, because I don't know, if it like stabs into your vein and makes a hole, or like, I don't know, goes into your eye, it's gonna be pretty bad. So I'll just say now every single character has like 30,000 different hitboxes for each important part of their body that does more or less damage depending on where you hit them. So yeah, it's just RNG how much damage you deal. Although most of the time it's gonna do like 1 damage. Alright, now his bone saw. As you can tell, this thing is meant for cutting stuff, and it's probably gonna really, really hurt. However, here's the problem. You see, if you're going back and forth like this, it cuts through really, really fast. But if you do a direct hit like this, it really doesn't work well.
Go to hell!
You're gonna have to try and find a way to like saw the enemy and not just hit them. I'll say 90 damage per swing, specifically because it doesn't have the same power as the fire axe when it comes to direct hits, and also it's lighter. It'll also do 60 bleed damage. Alright, now we're on to the sniper. So for his sniper rifle, it's going to do 100 damage as its base damage, and every single headshot is just an insta-kill no matter what. So charging the shot does not matter. So if it hits an enemy in like the torso, 100 damage, and then they're stunned because what are you gonna do when there's a hole in your lung? And then they bleed until they die. So yeah, it's just you're cooked if you get hit with it anywhere. For his SMG, it's just the exact same as the pistol, just with a higher fire rate and bigger clip size. And then for his machete, I'd say it's better than the bone saw, but I can't decide if it's better than the fire axe or not. So I'll just give it the same stats as the fire axe. Same damage and same amount of bleed. Alright, we're on the final class of the video. So, for the spy, his revolver does 60 damage per shot like normal in the game, and then it will deal 60 bleed damage. And then for the knife, it'll do 40 damage every butter knife, but then it will also have 60 bleed damage. And in the game, backstab insta-kills, but there is some truth to this, like in real life, because as you can see, he thrusts the knife into their backs instead of doing a slash. So I'd say that does 200 damage and then 100 bleed damage. Alright everybody, I'd just like to thank all of you for watching my video, as this took me a really long time to make, so I'm glad you enjoyed, and yeah, goodbye everybody.